You know that feeling, like your business is just drowning in busy work? Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how you can turn all those tedious daily tasks into actual fuel for growth. And the key? It's all about automation. So let's just dive right in with a question that I'm betting hits pretty close to home for a lot of you. Does it ever feel like the constant churn of small, repetitive tasks is just eating up your entire day? Stopping you from focusing on what really matters, the bigger picture? Well, that feeling, it has a name. And that brings us to our first section here, the daily grind. This is all about pinpointing those common, everyday frustrations that really get in the way of making real progress. I mean, does this sound familiar? You've got someone copying and pasting data from one system to another all day. Or maybe it takes way too long to get back to a customer. Or you're just watching your team get completely tangled up in these clunky, inefficient workflows. Look, these aren't just little annoyances. This stuff is the daily grind, and it is actively holding your business back from what it could be. But what if you could take those exact points of frustration and actually flip them into your biggest advantages? Well, that's exactly what this next section is about. It's time to move from pain to profit. Let's take a look at the real promise of automation. And this quote really gets to the heart of it. It's the core idea from our source material, and it is so powerful. See, automation isn't just about fixing a problem one time. Nope. It's about creating a system where that solution just keeps working for you over and over again. It's about transforming a constant headache into a super reliable, efficient process. And this comparison, it just says it all, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the grind. We're talking manual entry, slow service, high costs, ugh. But on the other side, with automation, you get the win. That means streamlined operations, genuinely happy customers, and yeah, much better profit margins. It's really the ultimate before and after picture. And what's so powerful here is how all these benefits actually feed into each other. Think about it. When you increase efficiency, what happens? Your costs go down. When you deliver service faster, your customers are happier. It creates this amazing positive feedback loop that just makes your entire business stronger. Okay, so you're probably thinking, this sounds great, but how do I actually do it? Well, let's dive into the practical plan to make this a reality for your business. This isn't just theory, folks. This is a clear, actionable, 8-step roadmap. All right, the first 4 steps are all about building a solid foundation. You start by identifying your biggest opportunities, your biggest pain points. Then you've got to set some clear objectives. What does success actually look like? Only then do you start looking at tools. And this part is absolutely crucial. You start with a small pilot project. You want to prove the concept before you go all in. Okay, so once that pilot project is a success, now it's time to execute. And that means a few things. You've got to train your team. You need to implement the changes gradually, please, not all at once. And you have to be constantly monitoring and optimizing. Once you've really refined the process, that's when you hit the gas and scale it up. Success in these early stages really comes down to one thing: clear ownership. And notice, it's a total team effort. You have your process managers, the people who are closest to the work, pinpointing the opportunities. Then you've got executive leadership setting the big picture goals. When you do it this way, you get buy-in from the ground up and the top down, which is exactly what you need. All right, now, before you go hitting the accelerator, every good roadmap has to come with a section on, the rules of the road. Let's talk about potential roadblocks, because knowing what to watch out for is every bit as important as knowing where you're headed. And these are the classic pitfalls to avoid. Number 1, jumping in without a clear strategy. That's just a recipe for wasted time and money. Another big one, ignoring input from the employees who will actually use the tools. That's a surefire way to get resistance. And finally, failing to integrate new tools with what you already have, well, that just creates a whole new headache. Seriously, just being aware of these is half the battle. And automation today comes with some real responsibilities. We're talking about things like data protection. You've got to comply with rules like GDPR and CCPA. It also means running regular risk audits for things like bias in your systems. And maybe most importantly, it means committing to upskilling your workforce. This isn't just good practice anymore. It is absolutely essential for building trust with your customers and your team. Okay, so we have the roadmap, we have the rules of the road, now what? How do you actually make your first move? Let's simplify this whole decision. It all starts with this one question. And look, don't try to boil the ocean here. Just ask yourself and your team, what is our single biggest time waster? What's the most repetitive, mind-numbing task we do? Whatever that is, that's your target. That's your first quick win. Next, once you have that target in your sights, then you go looking for the right tool, not the other way around. It could be something simple like Zapier or a bigger platform like HubSpot. The key is finding the tool that fits your budget and, more importantly, fits that specific need. And finally, part 3. Before you even start, you have to decide how you're going to measure success. How will you know if it actually worked? Are you going to track hours saved, a reduction in errors, maybe faster response times? You have to define that success metric up front, because that's how you're going to prove the value and get the green light for the next project. So look, if there is just one thing you take away from all of this, let it be this. Start small. Prove the value of that one small thing and then build from there. So I'll leave you with this final thought. What is the one small win, the one tiny pain point that you can automate this week?